Oh yeah, absolutely, and it wasn't unanimous in the sense that Viktor Orban, who's the biggest fly in the ointment, although there are a few, decided to step out of the room. He abstained. In fact, he stepped out of the room, made it clear he wouldn't oppose or object to the decision. A tried and tested technique at European Councils. Gordon Brown used to do it from time to time. I seem to remember. So yes, Ukraine is going to begin membership talks. That begins immediately, but and a big but, and there will be a review in March as to whether Kyiv has fulfilled at least 4 conditions, probably more like 7 conditions set by the European Commission. The decision was absolutely hinged upon the EU also agreeing to open membership talks with Bosnia with a similar review in March. And that's a big shift because about a month or 2 ago, the European Commission said Bosnia was not ready. But countries like Hungary, Italy, Austria and others insisted that Western Balkan countries should not go to the back of the queue.
Right. Now, any country, of course, can veto a new country's application to become a member. Hungary's been a long time skeptic stroke opponent of all of this. Does the Hungarian leader stepping out of the room at the key moment, does that mean there's a softening of that Hungarian opposition, or could it easily just recur?
I think Hungary's made it very clear what the position is. Its position is a complex position. It's not simply that Budapest is pro-Russian, or even Orban is pro-Russian. There is a group of countries that is uneasy about accelerating Ukraine while other countries in the Western Balkans are left behind. There is a very good, obvious geopolitical case for Ukraine's membership, tying it into the Western orbit after the invasion with Russia. But look at the Western Balkans, look at Serbia, look at Bosnia, look at Albania. Those countries have been neglected over the last 10 years, and a lot of European countries say, look, this is big geopolitics for us. This is a very, very important region.
Right, and as you say, there are a number of conditions that have to be met before membership can become a reality. I mean, they have to do with governance and to do with corruption and other things. And of course, you can't become a European Union member while you're at war.
Well, yes. I mean, yes, that's not a mere technicality. I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. There would, for Ukraine to actually be fighting a hot conflict at the time it entered the EU would not be possible. And indeed, I mean, how would you set territorial boundaries of a country, the territory that is about to join the EU? Now, it is the case that countries such as Cyprus have joined the EU, even though the island of Cyprus is divided between the Greek-speaking part and the Turkish-speaking part of Cyprus. So it is possible for a country to join while its territory is still subject to a frozen conflict. But obviously a hot war, and this war is dragging on, would be impossible. In fact, I mean, down the line, Ukraine's got some really difficult stuff to do. I mean, Ukraine is a corrupt country. Ukraine has got to remove the influence of oligarchs, and Ukraine has to abolish, and this is a European Commission demand, legislation that discriminates against national minorities such as Hungarians in the Transcarpathian region.
Yes, well, Bruno, thank you for those thoughts. Good to have you with us. Now, Kira Rudik's on the line now, Ukrainian MP, leader of Golos, the opposition party. Hello, Kira.
Hello, John. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. And I assume you are in a fairly celebratory mood. It is a big moment.
It is indeed. It's a huge moment for our country because once again, we have confirmation that we have a future, and it's a European future. You know, today was like such a tough day because it started with many air raid sirens, and I spent in the bomb shelter a good part of the day. And at the end, we were like all so exhausted. And now we have this fantastic news that are telling us that we have work ahead of us. We have lots of things to do ahead of us, but we also have future, and it is very much defined. And it's not only Ukraine that wants to be part of EU, but EU is saying, yes, we agree that we have this mutual path, and it is critical for Ukraine right now, not only on organizational level or legislative level, it's a critical on a level of hope. The hope is the vehicle, is the fuel that we are running on, and we just got like tons of it.
Yeah.
And I like to refer to my dad. He doesn't really understand like what's the candidacy means, what like this step of agreeing to start negotiation means. He just knows that we have a future and we are moving towards it. And this is what I want to tell all my fellow Ukrainians and people of the free world. We are so happy that now we see something bright in front of us, and we are so willing to work towards it.
Right. Well, Kira, many of us wish Ukraine nothing but well at a really difficult time. But there's lots to be done before Ukraine can become a member. On that question of corruption, one of the basic EU requirements, I mean, can Ukraine deal with the corruption in the country, and when?
Well, so first of all, I suggest that we do not listen to me, but we will listen to European Commission that had a very profound and detailed report on the progress of the reforms. And in these reforms, in this report, they said that we have made good progress in terms of fighting corruption. We actually have voted to eliminate all the questions that were there regarding the national minorities. And as of right now, we are on a very good track. And we are working towards making sure that all our reforms become actually, that they start working, and the laws that we have voted for, they get executed on. And this is really critical for us, but we are doing our homework. And again, it's not me telling you this, it is European Commission telling you this.
Okay, now more broadly, you've got a very active problem in solidifying, shoring up the support for Ukraine among your friends and allies, in particular material support, weapons, funds, and so on. And there are all sorts of question marks, Kira, aren't they, over that supply of support from countries like America and within the European Union. Countries like Hungary, of course, have a big voice in all of this. How far are you concerned about that supply, that vital supply, thinning out and drying up?
This is one of the major concerns right now that we have moving towards the end of the year. So as of right now, we have political promises and we have no signed and sealed paperwork that we need badly for the beginning of the year. So we are talking about 61 billion of US dollars from US Congress that's being on and on for the last, I think, 6 months. And we are talking about 50 billion from the European Union, which I believe will be confirmed today or tomorrow. But again, when we are talking about these numbers, 61 billion, 50 billion, I just want to remind all of our listeners that $500 billion of Russian money are being frozen in the democratic countries, which is 10 times more than EU wants to give us and 10 times more than the United States can give us. And we need to work towards making sure that we have a use of those money and have both legislative solution and political will, because this is the only solution given the seeking the support that is getting thin and thinner and thinner. And I accumulate all our resources right now to work towards that goal in particular.
All right, Kira, always good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us, as always. That is Kira Rudik there, the Ukrainian MP and party leader.